I know there's a lot of credit cards out on the market, but don't worry. I've gone ahead and put together the perfect formula on the 6 essential credit cards that can benefit nearly every single person watching. With this lineup, you'll have the perfect combination of maximizing your cashback rewards across a variety of different spending categories, all while keeping that annual fee low. So what I'm gonna do is first go over what those 6 credit cards are, and afterwards, I'm gonna give you that secret formula towards the end of the video on why I chose these combination of cards and how you can use them in perfect synchrony. Starting with card number 1, the Capital One Saver One card. Now this card here is not gonna be the coolest, the flashiest, or the most flexiest card on the market, but let me tell you, this here is gonna be arguably one of the best beginner credit cards to exist for the following reasons. First of all, with a card like this, you're gonna be earning an unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and popular streaming services, and also at grocery stores. Right now, there is a pretty solid welcome bonus offer where if you spend $500 in purchases within the first 3 months from account opening, you'll be getting a $200 cash bonus. If your whole goal is to just spend $500 on this card, immediately right off the bat, because of this welcome bonus offer, you're getting 40% off on whatever purchases you made during that period. Now, the main reason why this card here is so good is not the cashback rewards, it's not that welcome bonus offer, but it's actually because of their limited time promotion for their Uber benefit. For every purchase that you make on Uber and Uber Eats, by using this card, you'll be getting not 5% back, not 7% back, but you'll be getting a full 10% cash back until November 14th, 2024. Ladies and gents, let me tell you, this benefit here is crazy because it is very rare that you see a credit card anytime offering you over 5% cash back. I know for me personally, I have been using Uber Eats a ton, and the fact that if you do sign up for this card, you'll also be getting a free Uber One membership, where oftentimes what usually happens is that when you do order food delivery, sometimes, if I go to Chipotle, the burrito will be like $10, but then through the Uber app, it's like $12 automatically, and then I need to tip the driver. But by having this free membership, it actually cuts down on the cost, and then you're getting 10% back on your food. And if you actually want to get the best deal possible, sometimes if you just order it for pickup, you can avoid any additional fees. Nowadays, a lot of people are focused more on getting 3x or 4x back on just eating out, but this is one secret way where you can earn up to 10% cash back. Pair that up with the Capital One travel portal, where they have a price match guarantee. So if you ever do decide to book any travel, you're also going to be getting 5% cash back on hotels and rental cars booked through their portal, where their portal literally price matches to any other hotel within the game. So as long as the hotel is listed on the travel portal, that right there is going to be giving you an additional benefit. And all of this comes jam-packed into a card with no annual fee. Now, by the way, I would never recommend anyone who's in the points and miles game to ever carry any kind of credit card balance, but I do know that even within the middle of a recession, sometimes unexpected financial circumstances come up. With a Saver One card, you won't have to worry about paying interest because you do also get 0% intro APR for 15 months from account opening on purchases and balance transfers. Ladies and gents, by the way, I know I already mentioned it's no annual fee, but I have to say it again. All of those things are included in a card that doesn't cost you a single penny to hold, which has made this one of the most underrated beginner credit cards to exist on the market. Now, if you are interested in applying for this card, I highly recommend that you have a score of at least 670. Even on their website, they recommend that you have a credit level of at least excellent before applying. But I will say this, I've seen some people without the best credit in the world still getting approved for a beginner card like this. Now, for the second credit card here on my list is going to be the Chase Freedom Flex card. Now, real quick, this here is a no annual fee card that gives you 5% cash back on rotating categories. For the approaching Q2 of 2023, you're going to be getting 5% back on Amazon purchases and at Lowe's. Now, the reason why the Chase Freedom Flex card is number 2 on my list is because I would consider this one of the best gateway cards to get into the entire Chase ecosystem. Now, Chase has a whole lineup of other credit cards, including the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but not only that, but a lot of other co-branded cards they work with. Now, whether it's with Marriott or some other hotel branch, or even just their lineup of other wealth management products that go into the JP Morgan line, Chase is one of those banks where I highly recommend that you build that relationship with, just because they offer you so many different products that can become very, very valuable. Not only that, but Chase also has something called the Ultimate Rewards Portal, which makes their points very easy to use. Pair that up with the fact that if you spend $500 within the first 3 months of card ownership, you're also going to be getting $200 cash back. And just like the previous Capital One Saver One card that we just mentioned, you're also going to be getting 0% intro APR for 15 months. So 5% back on a category that's very easy to use. I can't think of a single person that has never bought anything from Amazon. And on top of that, you're also getting a very solid welcome bonus offer. And because this is a beginner-friendly credit card, it's going to be allowing a lot more people to get accepted and approved if you do decide to apply. By the way, if you do want to get approved, I highly recommend that you have a score of at least 670, even though this is considered a no annual fee beginner credit card. You never want to have a score of under 650 because I have seen more denials at that point, especially during the time that the economy is a little shaken up. Now, the third card here on my list is going to be the OG, the absolute GOAT, the American Express Gold Card. Now, look, it's no secret that for this past year, the cost of food prices and grocery stores have all risen. In fact, even after the most recent CPI report, we're still getting a count that food inflation is continuing to go up higher and higher. Fortunately for you, the American Express Gold Card is going to offer you $120 in dining credits whenever you dine at some of the most popular places such as Shake Shack, Cheesecake Factory, even being able to use it on Grubhub. Now, there's a few more on top of that. Those are the main ones. But with this card, you'll also be getting 4x back on US supermarkets, and you'll also be getting 4x back whenever you dine out. Now, although US supermarkets are capped out at $25,000 in purchases per year, you do not have any cap on eating out at restaurants. Right now, this card is also going to offer you 60,000 membership reward points after you spend $4,000 in purchases within the first 6 months of card ownership. Keep in mind, at a 1 point to 1 cent redemption, those 60,000 points is worth at a minimum $600. But if you happen to find a good travel partner or any type of good deal, which comes and goes, you may even be able to get a redemption offer of anywhere from 2 cents to 1 point or 3 cents to 1 point, where it ends up being not just $600 that you're getting back in a welcome bonus credit, but you're going to be getting $1,200 or even $1,800 back. This card is also going to offer you 3x points on flights booked directly with airlines or on AmexTravel.com. And like I've mentioned before plenty of times, by having the American Express Gold Card, you will also be eligible for the American Express Hotel Collection Program, where you open yourself up to even more benefits and some exclusive perks that you would get from booking on their website. Now, because this is a credit card that has an annual fee of over $250 per year, I would recommend you to have a credit score of at least 690. And if you have anything within the 715 to 20 range, I think you have a very solid chance of getting approved. Before we get into the fourth card, and before I share with you towards the end of the video on just how all of these cards will come together, if you are interested at all in applying for any cards, or you're just curious on checking out some of the card offers, be sure to check out my link down below or scan the QR code on your screen at any time. Like always, make sure the offers are the most competitive one for you, but anytime you do use those links, it significantly supports this channel and it allows me to create more banger videos just like this for you. So the next card here on my list is actually going to be another American Express card, which is the American Express Blue Cash Preferred. So the reason why I included this here on my list is because, first of all, not many people understand what this card does, who it's meant for, and why it would even be viable. Well, just as good as the American Express Gold Card is, this card might arguably be even better. So with this credit card here, you'll earn not 5% back at US supermarkets, but you'll get 6% back on US supermarkets on up to $6,000 per year in spending. Plus, you'll also be getting 6% back on select US streaming services. You'll also get 3% back at US gas stations. And by the way, I often find that it's hard to find a credit card to use consistently for those gas rewards, but this would be one of those too. Now, if you're wondering too, Brian, well, if this card is offering me a higher cashback reward than the American Express Gold Card, which has a $250 annual fee, is this going to be more? Well, this is where it's fascinating. This card is going to have a $0 introductory annual fee for the first year, and after that, it's only $95. Pair that up with the fact that if you do sign up for this card, you're going to be getting a welcome bonus for a $250 statement credit after you spend $3,000 in purchases on your card within the first 6 months. Now, I do want to mention that you are getting 6% back on US supermarkets, and you're not getting any bonus on dining or eating out at restaurants. This is one of the reasons why it's within my essential credit card list for this video. Guys, oh man, I'm just so excited to share share with you at the end of the video how this all works. Now, by the way, if you do want to get approved for this card, I highly recommend that you have a credit score of at least 695. Moving on, the fifth credit card here on this list is going to be the brand new Bilt MasterCard. Now, this is a credit card that I've mentioned a few times so far on my channel, and it's already gotten one of the best credit card rewards title from many different blogs. The reason why this credit card here is so special is just because of the fact that you will now be able to earn money back on paying for your rent no matter where you live. There were also some rumors earlier this year just talking about how the Bilt MasterCard might even allow you to earn points for the mortgage that you pay. Before we talk more about that though, the other perks of this card is that you'll get 3x on dining, 2x on travel, and on top of that, this card has no annual fee. And aside from this card having no annual fee, you also have really good transfer partners, so it's also won another award for having some of the best travel partners in the game, where it includes even being able to move your Bilt points to airlines such as American Airlines or even other hotel chains like Hyatt. Going back into how the Bilt MasterCard works when paying your rent, it's very simple. So all you have to do is request a rent payment via the app and they will mail your landlord a check. Now, by the way, I know people who are living in the city, or if you're living in LA on the West Coast, rent can be very expensive. Even here, out in the middle of nowhere in the suburbs of DC here in Maryland, my rent at my last apartment for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath was $4,000 a month. Now, if you're one of those people that was also paying a lot of money in rent, the Bilt MasterCard allows you to get a maximum value of 50,000 points each calendar year. 1-to-1, that is worth $500 back by paying for something that you already need to do anyways. Stack that with the fact that Bilt will always cover that transaction fee that you're paying to merchants, and also the fact that they have really good transfer partners where instead of getting a 1 point to 1 cent redemption, it may even be more common for you to get a 1 point to 2 cent redemption or even a 1 point to 3 cent redemption. That means that $500 you get automatically per year could easily be worth over $1,000 or even $1,500. Going to card number 6, remember the Chase Freedom Flex card that we mentioned earlier? Well, the next one pairs up very well with that, and that is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So the Chase Sapphire Preferred is going to earn you 5x points on travel booked through their Chase travel portal. You're also going to be getting 3x ultimate reward points on restaurants, streaming services, online groceries, excluding Target, Walmart, and wholesale clubs. And also you're going to be getting 2x back on travel purchases outside of the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, and then 1x back on everything else. Now, one of the areas that this card shines a lot is that welcome bonus. It has been consistent for the last 5 years, and right now it's giving you 60,000 bonus points after you spend $4,000 in purchases within the first 3 months. Unlike the Amex Gold, instead of having 6 months to spend all that money, you only get 3 months. But if you do have your expenses planned accordingly, maybe you need to buy some furniture or whatnot, the $4,000 can be a breeze. By getting that, you have to realize that the Chase ecosystem of points is very easy to use. So if you wanted to travel to a Hyatt hotel or any domestic partner, you'll find that the 60,000 bonus points can come in handy and you can get a fair redemption at most of the time. Even with the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, without having to do much work at all, you're getting $750 minimum just from getting the welcome bonus. Now, this here is what I would consider one of the best beginner travel credit cards. If you are interested in getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the credit score I would recommend that you would have is at least 700. But let me tell you how all of this now works. So why did I pick these 6 cards? Well, let me break it down. First of all, if you're paying rent at any place you're living, the Bilt MasterCard best in the game, and that's going to cover anywhere from 30 to even 40% of your expenses based on statistics on how much the traditional US consumer spends on rent. Next, you're going to have the American Express Gold Card, which covers your dining, your eating out. If you're going on a nice little date with someone, or you're just hanging out with the boys and you need a card to put down, this card is still one of the best within its category. Now, for me, there are some moments I don't want to eat out. I don't want to have to pay like 20 to 30% in tip every single time. Most times, if it's really good service, I tip even more than that. If there are nights where I want to stay in, I use Uber Eats pretty often, and the Savor One card has been so amazing for this benefit. I mentioned earlier, you get the Uber One membership, but you also get 10% back. And on top of that, if you have the American Express Gold Card, you're also going to be getting a $10 credit every single month. So that right there pretty much hooks me up with like a free Chipotle burrito and then 10% back on anything else. Now, if I'm grocery shopping, which I still need to do, I still need to eat. You know what? I think most people need to eat food. This card here is going to be the Blue Cash Preferred. It's going to give me 6% back. It's capped out at a certain point though. So when it does reach that cap, like we mentioned, then I would opt in for one of my other cards, whether it's the Chase Freedom Flex, if it's within the quarterly category, or I would then use the American Express Gold Card that's still gives me 4% back on my food. Going back into the Freedom Flex card, this is gonna offer you 5% cash back on Amazon and at Lowe's. So, food is all covered right now. Even gas is covered with the Blue Cash Preferred at 3%. In this time, if I need to buy anything on Amazon, I do have the Amazon credit card too. I actually have 2 different Amazon credit cards, the business and the personal one. But if I didn't have those, I would then use the Freedom Flex to get 5% back on my Amazon purchases during this time. And because the Chase Ultimate Reward Portal allows for a little bit of a boost within those points, I'd be getting anywhere from 6.5 to even 7% back on shopping at Amazon with this card for the next 3 months at the time of filming this video. Last but not least, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. It has been my go-to beginner travel card. But if you do want to buff it up, if you want to add in a little bit of that juice, I would highly recommend you to check out the Capital One Venture X card. The reason for that is because the 2 other luxury premier travel credit cards all have enormous annual fees. That's going to be the American Express Platinum card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. By the way, guys, I recently made a video on why the Capital One Venture X is also considered one of the most underrated cards within the arsenal. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that video out, be sure to do that as well. Like always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're looking to sign up for any one of the cards that I mentioned, be sure to check out the links down below in the description or just scan that QR code. I said this earlier, I'm gonna say this every single time. Make sure the credit cards that you're applying for are the best offer for you. And like I mentioned, if you are applying for a credit card just to get some credit card debt and then pay it off over the years, don't watch this video. Don't apply for a credit card. This content here is meant for people who are paying off their credit card on time. No negotiation about that, paying it off every single month and then getting those additional bonuses to travel the world for free or get any other perks and benefits that you get from these cards. Also, if you want to go ahead and join my Facebook group of over 30,000 members, be sure to check out the link down below and I'll send you a free special access invitation in your email inbox.